Good morning, everybody. It's Marty, the JavaScript party. Rhett's out in the living room because it is Tuesday, and my daughter-in-law's crazy. Pebbles and Roxy dogs will be coming in, bursting in at any moment, and then it's going to be like all hell will break loose. And so I always leave Rhett out. And also, I have found Rhett's a super highly intelligent creature, so she finds it like too much routine can be too a bit um, difficult for her to like. She gets bored, I guess is a good way. Her stimulation level drops. But here we are. We have our application running. We can let's see. We can still add something, right? Yep. And then we have our these tests running, and looks like we have 135. Looks like we got about 97% coverage. 97.63% of the lines and statements, and then, or 97.35% of lines. I wonder if that means, does that mean I have a difference? Let's see. 132, 157 minus 132 is 45. No, sorry, 25. So I have 25 statements uncovered. Oh, and 25 lines. But I guess the percentages are slightly different. I have a few branches and a few functions that aren't covered as well. So the next step is always for me to then start looking at my test coverage reports. And then let me just sort my statements. Statements has always been good. I did have one experience where I had no statements off, but one branch, which I'd never, that was a new one. I've only seen that happen one time ever. Sometimes I want to start with like the cleanest one and then move to the hardest one. Sometimes I want to start with the hardest and work my way back. Um, it is funny, app data layout just doesn't have a whole lot, so it's kind of wild that like it literally only has 11 lines of code. No, 10 lines ago. Oh, interesting. So this is one where we have 10 lines of code, 3 out of 10 lines of code covered, but 4 out of 11 statements covered. So that's a new one. And there's a branch that's not covered. So let's go ahead and do this one. Yeah, there's only one function. It has one branch in it. And it looks like it would be pretty easy. A lot of times when I have a branch like this, I'll just try to break it out into its own function. It's a concept, I believe it's called functions over branches. But so I need to go into this app layout component TypeScript. Time is it 9:50? So I have 5 minutes. So that'll be good. So I guess the next step is to go like this. App data. There we are. It's this guy right here. And then I think I can just delete everything else, close all the others, and then open this guy back up again. As you see, we have tons of commented out codes, but I believe this layout change, let's see, do we have a layout change function? Change. So we don't, so it must be a brand new function that we just added. Guess we could look and see real quick. So this is in app data layout. And then, oh, is it a new? Is it a brand new? No, it can't be a brand new function. I wonder why it's not showing me both. Maybe it's because it's not big enough. Let's see, what if I do this? There we go. But this is the spec, and I actually wanted the actual file itself. Oh, I'm back to the spec again. What's going on? Is this a spec? App data layout component. Oh, it's because I did a commit. I did a code commit. So I don't have the changes. Um, So basically what I was hoping to do is be able to, um, I wanted to be able to um, see what things I changed and see if this layout change was a brand new function or not, but unfortunately we did not. Um, we didn't. All right, since I already have the commit, I can't, since I already have the commit and I can't see what the differences are. If I hadn't committed, but I had like 20 changes I did not want to lose, so should change the layout. And then like that. And, what we're going to do is we're going to say component, and that's just, the boilerplate building CLI thing just automatically names it component. Oh, interesting. Well, let's component and then dot layout change. And then I guess we want to send in an event. Probably won't let me do it. It returns a Boolean. So we want something that has a value. So basically const result equals. And so I'm just kind of learning as I go, just sort of discovering. So we want to create a mat toggle change event object, but I don't really want to button toggle change. So that's an interface, right? And like if you were to mouse over, it says, no, wrong one, mat toggle layout change. So, oh, it's a class actually. It's a whole class. Um, so equals, and it looks like the only thing I care about is the value. So I'm just going to give it a value, and I'm going to call that value data. Looks like I look out. Do I look for? Yeah, event value, and then over here, oh no, 3. It could either be 3 or something other than 3. So I'm just going to call it 3 for now. No, I'm just going to call it empty. I bet you empty is okay. And then, so it's going to complain because it's like, hey, this isn't a map value change. And it's right, but as at. And like I said, I don't understand why. It definitely can tell that this is something other than a bat toggle change. So it's kind of surprises me that I don't have to call it as unknown and then as that, but whatever. Event, hit save. Now it takes a long time for it to run everything. So a lot of times at this point, I'll see, and it doesn't, I'm going to change this to an F described, and the F stands for focus. And so I will tell it to focus only on this one suite. Now, I don't know. Sometimes it just picks up changes and sometimes it doesn't. But if you hit reload, it will rerun everything. All right, so it reran one. As you can see, there's only one dark green thing up here. Hit reload, and we're good. We've got 100% coverage on this. All right, so now let's go remove that. And that was the one that was in the worst shape, percentage-wise. That was super easy. I'm going to end up deleting all these comments, but I'm probably going to want to copy them over. And just make sure we're still at 100% there. Go back to all files. This is weird. Load. So that's a new one. Let's see what happens if I hit refresh here. Oh, well, I don't know. Is it still running? Is that what the problem is? What's your problem, bro? Right. Okay, there we go. I don't know, sometimes there's some timing issues. There we go. That looks a lot better. So we are now at 839 of, or 1039, 1057. So, and I know that like, well, here, let me, I think that, okay, so I know that like in my personal experience, that you have like one personal thing I noticed like back in the, maybe I would say like 2004, 2005, was that like if this number here ever exceeded 10,000, the whole application would just completely implode on itself. It was just sort of a weird reality that, I couldn't really explain or anything. But basically, you could kind of, with all the, with the, like they used to have this thing called MVC, Model View Controller, that everybody used to talk about all the time. And then there was another one called MOVE, which didn't get nearly as big, but I liked it a lot. And so MVC was Model View Controller, and then MOVE is Model, some kind of word that is for like, I can always have a hard time remembering what it is, but it is basically like all your controller stuff except for events. And then V was view, and then E was events. And you could get up to like 10 or 12,000 lines of code if you segmented your code out that way. But if you didn't, I mean, if you didn't, you could get above maybe a couple hundred lines of code before everything just gets too confusing to maintain. Well, it's crazy how much we've been able to get done with 1,039 lines of code. But I think you can also scale up to much, much bigger numbers. Um, but anyway, so tomorrow we'll work on probably this services. Services tend to be a little bit easier, I think, than components. Um, so we'll have to do this service. It looks like there's 7 lines of code that are uncovered in this service. Yeah, so we just need to be able to call publish filter change, and that just does a thing. So that'll be super simple. This table transform, I suspect we already have a unit test that handles this. So we'll probably be able to just copy and paste this one over. So that should be pretty straightforward. And then we'll go from there. I don't think there's anything that's too particularly challenging. Let's see this next one, the filter. So what is this? Entity filter component. So this is the component. It's got 5 lines of code in one branch. So menu change should be super simple. We probably already have that as well. And then apply user filter. Doesn't look like we do anything with this. So I don't know. Did we break end-to-end testing? I don't know. And then, and I try really hard to avoid going into like high level memory, I mean, not memory, rabbit holes, because like this is the time that I've set aside for line to line focus, not high level. But something is definitely off about this. um, we will know that at the end of end-to-end testing if everything still works. I'm pretty sure user filtering is working though. And let's see if we add one here. Then we type in REND. Yeah, see, that's the user filtering. So it is working, but it's not working the way it used to work. So who knows? It's going to be very interesting to dig through that and understand that. And this will be like sort of, will still be around. And then this one set based on route. This router filter was set true. So we'll see. But that shouldn't be too bad. Anyways, happy coding, everybody. Have a wonderful day. Bye.